The House of L is on the rise, and a brand new day is dawning for the DC Universe and Metropolis. What'll happen next? Well, let's hop into the pages of Action Comics number 1051 and find out together, shall we? So then, as we join this newest issue, Philip Kennedy Johnson actually picks up on several different storylines that have been brewing all across the Superman books. A massive protest is taking place in the city square, one side being very anti-War World refugees, and the other side being very pro-alien refugees. Things go from tense to violent when the anti-alien side starts shooting at the police that are acting as a bulwark between the two sides, and then a bomb car shows up too. This could have gotten very ugly very quickly, but thankfully Superman was there to stop it. But not just Superman, in fact he brought the entire House of L, the entire Superman family, to back him up. I guess this is also his big public re-debuting after he had his secret identity restored to him at the end of the previous issue. In the crowd of protesters, we also see John Corbin Metallo. He was tasked by Lex Luthor into killing Superman once and for all in exchange for the life of his sister, but Corbin just can't bring himself to do it. Though as Luthor is quick to tell him he's basically got one more chance to get this job done and do it right or else. Now back over with the extended Kent family, we see that Superman is actually having himself a big old family reunion at the house, and oh, I love moments like this, just so sweet and so wholesome. We see Connor playing video games with Keenan, who I'm sure they're both just super happy that they got invited back into the Superman family fold after falling off the face of the earth for years. Then in the corner, you got Jon playing big brother to the brand new super twins Ossel and Othel. Supergirl is there, so are the Steels. It's just a really beautiful scene. And after a fact, a pretty damn funny scene too when Jon goes looking for more board games but ends up finding Superman's Warworld costume complete with loincloth and chains. Yeah, I guess Lois kept it, for reasons. Clark gives a big speech to his assembled friends and family. In fact, he even calls back to the Jon Kent Superman book. When he talks about before he left for Warworld, Jon asked him if he thought he did enough in his role as Superman, and after much thought and soul-searching, Superman has come to the realization that him and his family can actually do more. Not just save the world, not just put out fires, both literal and figurative, but actually do something to change the world for the better. First things first, though, Superman takes this moment, too, to officially welcome Ossel and Othel into the family, complete with their own brand new super twin costumes. It's actually Natasha who wonders if Jon is feeling alright about this. After all, so much of his character arc in the last couple years has revolved around him losing so many years of his own childhood with his family, and now it looks like Lois and Clark have adopted two brand new kids. Admittedly, Jon's feelings are complicated. I mean, how can't they be? But he's not an asshole at the end of the day, and he knows that these two refugee kids in need just got the two greatest parents in the world. And the second part of Superman's big plan takes place the next day with the opening of the brand new Steel Works Tower, a building bigger and more glorious than LexCorp's own tower, where Jon and Natasha, with the assistance of the rest of the House of L, hope to break new boundaries in the realm of scientific advancement for the betterment of all humanity. They're going to be trying to address homelessness, world hunger, all that good stuff. Not everyone is so stoked about this use of alien technology, though. There's a group called the Blue Earth Movement who are actively protesting the event.
Yeah, how dare you super folk try and enrich my life? I don't understand this alien tech, so it must be evil and bad. All you Kryptonians should stick to your day jobs of saving me when things go bad,
which in fact things go back right away as Metallo chooses this opportunity to finally strike. Connor the Superboy actually catches wind of this first and goes to investigate, only to get jumped by the kryptonite-laced mechanical monstrosity. Again, I'm sure Connor is just happy to be involved. It's after that Metallo starts bringing the building down around our heroes, which means everyone has to fly into action to save the people who attended the grand opening, including the protesters who were talking mad shit just a second ago. Moving forward in this new era of Superman stories, where the Superman book is going to be more of a team book, I have to wonder how they're going to deal with stuff like this. When we have multiple god characters all working side by side with one another, how are they going to be sure to keep the drama high? Well, one way it seems is by taking hostages. Once Superman realizes that Metallo is the source of all of these troubles, he goes to confront him, only for Metallo to basically trauma dump on Superman and say he never wanted to do any of this, and that if Superman could just keep his damn head down for once and not arouse the anger of Lex Luthor, he wouldn't be in this situation right now. He also threatens the life of Connor as the main story comes to an end. But it's not the end of the comic overall, because this is a big new debut issue. We're actually treated to two very interesting little backup stories. One actually involves an untold tale of young Jonathan Kent and his parents living back on the farm. This is written by Dan Jurgens, and it actually takes place after the events of that that Death of Superman 30th anniversary issue. It's pretty good and feels like a nice bone they're throwing to the fans who still feverishly want to see a return to young Jon and the stories told there back in the early days of DC Rebirth. Well, here you go, you got it. The second backup story actually involves Karen Starr, the Power Girl. Yes, that's right, we officially know that she is indeed Power Girl. At the end of the last Lazarus Planet tie-in, Karen was pelted by Lazarus Rain, which actually ended up giving her brand new psychic powers, which I guess makes sense if we're going to have Power Girl and Supergirl inhabiting the same space right now. It might be a good idea to give them differing powers. Power Girl also gets herself a brand new uniform costume, and we see her working with Omen of the Teen Titans not only to master her brand new mental abilities, but also help others like Beast Boy deal with their deep-seated mental traumas. And so yeah, that's Action Comics number 1051, everybody, and I gotta say, this brand new era of Superman is off to a pretty strong start. There's a real palpable feeling of warmth and excitement having Clark and all of his extended family members and friends all together under one roof in this book. Especially the characters like Keenan and like Connor, who haven't really gotten the spotlight in years. I hope this book actually goes out of its way to have them, you know, kind of shoulder the narrative weight and not always have it be on Superman's shoulders. There's a lot of good character work going on here with the twins and how it affects Jon and how it affects the Kent family unit. I know I've mentioned it before, but it bears repeating this idea that a lot of writers were afraid to deal with the fallout of Jon being aged up and essentially losing out on his childhood, but Philip Kennedy Johnson is making it the backbone of many of his stories. I'm also really loving Metallo as this kind of reluctant villain. Wouldn't it be funny if he actually ends up joining Steelworks by the time all of this is said and done? Overall, I think I'd feel comfortable giving this one a very solid 8 out of 10, and I'll be interested to see what Joshua Williamson brings to the main Superman book once that gets started.
Hey there everyone, Kate Joel again, and I just want to thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. It means a lot to me. And hey, if you enjoyed the book I covered in this issue and want some comics of your own, might I recommend Book Depository? It's my #1 place for shopping for comic book trades. You get a great price, and if you use my link down in the description, you'll actually be helping me out at the same time. You get something, I get something, everybody wins, right? So until next time everyone, I've been Joel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.